Hey everybody, today we're going to make macaroni and cheese, and I am not the biggest fan of macaroni and cheese, but I went yesterday to Popeyes, and I had seen a couple commercials on TV that they, a new side they had was macaroni and cheese and how good it was and stuff, so I thought I would try it, and I'm so glad I did because it is delicious. If you get a chance to get some sometime, you should, because it is so good. And I thought that I would come home and try to think, now how could I recreate that mac and cheese? So in my mind I have, and it's pretty simple. But we'll give it a try and see if it turns out like theirs. So, in this pot here is just water that I have boiling. I'm going to put a little, well, a lot of salt in it. And then I have a partial bag of elbow macaroni that I'm gonna put in. Then I have a 16-ounce bag. That I'm gonna put in. And I'm going to just give that a stir, and you boil this uncovered, so it doesn't say on the package how many minutes to let it go. So I'm going to let it go about 8 minutes because we're going to put it in the oven too, and if it needs to go more than 8 minutes, then it'll get that extra cooking in the oven. So next, we're going to start on the sauce. And I don't care for the cheese sauce that is so much cheese sauce that you can't find the macaroni. That just overdoes it for me, but I do like a nice amount of sauce. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and make the sauce to go on the to go with the macaroni. I'm gonna use a whole stick of butter, and it needs to melt. Won't take it but a minute. This macaroni's sticking to the bottom, so you got to stir it a little bit. My mom made macaroni and cheese, and she'd put egg in it and bake it, and she called it macaroni pie, or macaroni and cheese pie. But I think people are somehow getting away from putting the egg in it. I really enjoy the egg in it. But anyway, I just never thought I would find a macaroni and cheese that I liked so good as I did yesterday. And this should be melted just any time now. And as I said, it's not going to use a whole lot of spices and stuff like that, and a whole lot of the sauce with it. And it's just about ready. Okay. Now we're going to put some flour. And the rule is to put equal butter and equal flour, but we're not going to because I don't need near that much. I'm going to put about that much, and that much is half a cup because this is a cup, measuring cup. So I'm going to put about half of a cup of butter and stir that around and let the flour taste get cooked out of it and make it smooth. And I think most of us know how to make this with the butter and the flour, the roux. And when you add the milk and the other stuff, I think they call it a bechamel or something like that. In the South, we just call it a sauce. And I'm going to let this go just another minute or so just to get that flour taste cooked out of the flour. Okay, I'm going to cut it down a little bit. And we're going to add milk. And just add a little milk at a time so that your sauce is nice and smooth. And keep stirring it. And I like lumpy sauce like this. I love the lumps in it. For some reason, I think I'm just maybe a little bit weird. But you keep adding your milk. And your cheese is going to thicken it up some too. So if you want, you can make it just a little thinner than what you normally would. And like I say, that cheese will thicken it up some. This might be all the milk we need. I don't know, that's quite a bit of macaroni. We might need to make a little bit more. I'm going to turn that up just a little. And when you eat this, one thing I really liked about it was the macaroni part was like creamy and really flavorful, but it didn't have a bunch of crazy flavors going on in your mouth. It was the main thing that I tasted was like American cheese, and then the top was the shredded cheese. You know, those cheeses have different textures, and it was really so different than any I've had. Of course, I haven't had a whole bunch, but there's a place, a restaurant near me. It's called Mountain Chicken, and they have a macaroni and cheese that they put tomato sauce in, and it is really good too. But my kids think it's really terrible. But I enjoy it. If I'm gonna eat macaroni and cheese, I enjoy that. This should be thickening up just any time. And I hope the lighting is better. If you watched my video where I asked if it was a fail or not, I'm not actually using it with my phone, which is what I record with. I'm just using it as a light and using my old tripod as the holder for my phone. But not having good lighting was really worrying me, so I hope that it's looking good. If not, I'll just keep working on it. And I believe this is getting about as thick as it's going to, maybe. Okay, now I'm going to put in the cheese. And I'm going to turn it back down just a little bit. And as I said, it's not got a whole bunch of crazy flavors, so I have several different types of cheese, and I'm just going to put a few slices of each one of those in it to just give a little bit of flavor, but not a whole bunch. And I'm going to put just a dab more milk in here. Okay. And so this is pepper cheese. And the reason I'm using this pepper cheese is because of pepper jack cheese. Is because this cheese is not hot at all. It does not, you do not taste any of the peppers in it. And So for the flavor of just the cheese, I'm adding it. And then I'm adding, well, I've torn up my pack. This is Swiss cheese, and I'm putting 4 pieces of Swiss cheese in it. Swiss cheese has got kind of a strong flavor, so I didn't want to put too much of it. And then I have provolone, and I just have a few pieces of it. If you only have one type of cheese, that's fine. Don't feel like if you want to make this, you have to go out and buy all this cheese, because you do not. And I'm going to cut this off and give it a stir, and then I'm going to put the lid on it just to let the heat kind of finish cooking, or whatever it's going to do. And then the last cheese I have, well, it's not the last, but of the different cheeses, is smoked Gouda. And I'm going to put a few slices of it, because they say Gouda cheese in macaroni and cheese is really good. And Gouda cheese is not something I eat very often, but it is good. Okay, now I have this much American cheese, and I'm going to put all that in. And it just fell apart in that bag. Okay. And we're just going to let that melt down. So in the meantime, I'm going to go get my strainer, which I forgot to get. I'm going to let this cheese melt. And when you come back, we'll put the cheese with the noodles, and we'll put the cheese that we're going to use on top and get it ready for the oven. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the seasonings in this, and I don't know why, but I went ahead and put just a small squirt of mustard. I don't know why I didn't wait until I started the video back, but anyway, a small squirt of mustard, and then a little garlic powder. Not a whole lot. That might be too much. About like that. If you put that all together, it might be a teaspoon. And also a teaspoon of onion powder. About like that. I believe that's a little bit more than the onion or the garlic powder, but that's okay. And then little salt, not a whole lot. And some pepper, which we love pepper. And then stir this up. My pot's just about too small. And I have the drained pasta over here. I'm gonna get it where you can see it. And we'll go ahead and pour our sauce into the pasta. Now I'm going to stir the sauce into the pasta. Looks so good. And once you get that mixed, we're gonna put it in a, I'm gonna put it in a 9x13 in my cake pan, because I have a lid for it. And so I really don't think that all of that's gonna fit in there. I may just have to put part of it. Let me spread that out and see how much room I have. I might have to put the rest in a little small baking dish. But anyway, there is that in the baking dish. Then now we're going to put our cheese on top. I'm going to put sharp cheddar. And it's sharp cheddar also. And I'm going to put some of this Monterey Jack and cheddar. Put plenty of cheese. when I first got this bag of cheese, somebody set something down on it and kind of mashed some of it together where it's like a brick of cheese in here. So it's hard to work with sometimes. Okay, I have got it pretty much loaded down with cheese and everything's ready. So I'm putting it in the oven at 350, probably a half hour to 45 minutes. I want the cheese to be melted and it bubbling. And I may stick it under the broiler for a minute. So when I come back, it'll be ready. The macaroni and cheese is finished, and boy, it smells good, and it looks good, and I'm hoping that it tastes good. So here's what it looks like. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a piece. I have let it set for a few minutes. I don't know if I let it maybe cook a little too long or not, but anyway. Here's what it looks like. And to me, it's got just the right amount of the sauce in it where it's not just swimming in the sauce. So now I will give it a taste. It's really hot. I'm gonna get a little bit smaller bite because I think that will burn. In my opinion, it is really close to Popeyes. I think maybe I shouldn't have put the Swiss cheese if I wanted more of the Popeye flavor, but it's good. It just isn't exactly like Popeyes, and I think it is because of the Swiss cheese, but this is really good. And if I had this to eat all the time, I'd be a macaroni and cheese lover. And you can put tuna in this, or chicken in it, lobster in it, anything you want, and make it a main course or whatever you want to call it, and that would be good. But anyway, this is my knockoff Popeyes macaroni and cheese, and I hope you make it and enjoy it, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. And for the last part of the video, I was wanting to share a gift I got. And this comes from Becky and Ray. And he is an older gentleman that loves to do wooden crafts by hand. And he made a paper towel holder. And you take this end off, slide your paper towels down on it, and then put it back on. And I think it is beautiful. I love the 2 colors of wood. He is very, very talented. And so, thank you so much for this. And then Becky's husband, Ray, also made this little barrel. And it is so cute. And it, you know, a barrel has a hole with the plug, and it even has that. And there's the inside, if you can see. And I just think that it is just adorable. And he is so talented to be able to make the things that he makes. So that is from Becky and Ray. And thank y'all so much. It really just makes me feel special to receive something like that. And Ray wrote, or Ray told Becky to write this note to Randy, and it says, Ray said now you could have a barrel of fun because of the barrel. It's real cute. So anyway, thank you. Thank you, Becky and Ray. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Love y'all. Bye-bye.